Hey guys, Tortuna here and welcome to my first video in a while. There are a lot of games on Roblox. It is one of, if not the biggest online gaming platforms in the world. With thousands if not millions of games to choose from, you'll be very hard pressed to find a game that doesn't fit at least some of your interest. One of the most interesting phenomena to ever occur on the platform though is this idea of the average 500 player versus average 300,000 player experience. The idea of this is that 500 or so player experiences often tend to be some of the best games that anyone could ever find on Roblox, while 300,000 player experiences tend to be Roblox farms where they're easy to play, highly stimulating, and mind-numbingly senseless. Now, there are reasons why this phenomenon exists. First of all, Roblox is mainly targeted towards kids, and kids are obviously not going to have a developed taste for games. No shame of them, we've all been there. And secondly, the higher player games don't require good specs or at least a PC, even a potato one, to run, and since most players are on mobile for convenience or otherwise have really bad specs, it's a no-brainer why the very good games are not played as much. They simply can't be run for most people. But there's a game that I have been playing for the past 2 weeks now that has been some of the best Roblox games that I've played. It's so good that I have possibly sunk more hours into this game than the entirety of my Steam library combined. That game is called Dystovia and it has 4.6 million total visits, but for some reason only has 50 active players on average at any given time since its stable release on the 23rd of December 2024. Dystovia is an adventure RPG game based in a realm of the same name. The basic premise of Dystovia is that you're an adventurer who arrives in this town called ASUS, and your goal is to go out there and fight a bunch of monsters and hunt a bunch of animals Dark Souls style to tame the Dystovian lands, which is basically a Wild West dominated by spiders, lurkers, goblins, ogres, minotaurs, and skeletons. I am presuming that the end goal of fighting these monsters lore-wise is to achieve total tranquility in the Dystovian lands to allow for further human settlement and expansion into the land. Dystovia is currently under the management of the mayor of ASUS, who leads the town of ASUS and is by extension the leader of the humans in Dystovia. As an adventurer, you will follow a similar format as other RPG games. You'll start off with some pretty basic skills and you'll be pretty weak at first, but as you level up, you'll be able to improve your skills and you can work towards being able to wield giant swords or two swords at the same time. You can also enchant swords with scrolls, which can either be bought from merchants spread throughout the areas outside of ASUS or gained through killing monsters near totems. Cryptic scrolls grant your sword passive powers like increased sharpness and critical damage buffs. Sacred scrolls give your sword active powers, which you can use in combat by pressing 1 or 2, it depends on what it says. And demonic scrolls give your sword elemental powers like fire or lightning. The mob system is pretty complex in the game, but to sum it up, you have passive mobs like chickens, white and brown rabbits, and deer, which do not attack you and will flee if they see you. Regular mobs that attack you on sight but are relatively easy to fight but offer lower rewards. Mini-bosses which are harder to fight but offer better rewards, and bosses which have specialized health bars, deal a lot of damage, and can sometimes have ranged powers to attack you from afar. Depending on the boss you fight, they will offer pretty good or really bad item rewards, but your XP will always have a big jump, which can be useful to building your skills and buffs along with armor, which you can buy from a blacksmith in ASUS or win by finding chests scattered throughout the world. Among the hostile mobs are light mobs, which can be parried and blocked, and heavy mobs, which can only be blocked, and even then in both cases, blocks are ineffective against charged attacks unless you're parrying skeletons. Aside from the open world combat, hunting, and trading of the game, you can also forage for flowers and mushrooms which you can mix with water bottles, which are either filled up glass bottles at rivers and ponds, or water bottles bought directly from merchants to make potions. For example, heart flowers are mixed with water and brewed over fire to make health potions, which along with food gathered from hunting and cooked on a fire, can be used to restore HP. And purple rusula mushrooms can be brewed with water to make stamina potions that give you stamina boost for a certain amount of time. There are also crypts, which are dungeons that can be unlocked with a key, and this is where you can find and fight skeletons. Completing crypts by killing most, if not all, the skeletons, including the skeleton boss who leads the crypt, will grant you great rewards and special power gems. These gems can be exchanged along with power cores obtained from killing the spider boss to a wizard on the west side of the map, who can easily be accessed from a magical teleporting door in Oasis for upgrades in sword surfing powers. Sword surfing allows you to quickly travel the map by clicking J or the sword surfing symbol on the screen and surfing around on an invisible sword. You cannot sword surf in combat, so it's always advisable to sword surf to where you want to fight, but never to sword surf into the place you want to fight in. There are so many features in the game, but to explain them all would make this go from being a video about my honest review of the game to just being a full manual for the game, which is not what I want to make. If you want to learn more about the mechanics of the game, go try it and hop on yourself. And be prepared to read the wiki on fandom or the more detailed guides on gaming websites scattered throughout the internet. Now, for a brief history of the game. This game is made by the Dystovia team, who began work on it in 2019, and to my knowledge, they released a pre-alpha version in 2023. And looking from the total visit numbers, it seems like they probably had between 500 to 2,000 players at its peak, but it sadly began to die out sometime in late 2024. And based on what I've seen, it didn't survive its official release on the 23rd of December 2024. And while they continued to update the game, with the last update being in May 2025, there hasn't been a major update since stable release except for the swapping of some keybinds. However, the map remains incomplete, and based on my brief time on the Discord server, they didn't seem like to issue a major update anytime soon. This disappoints me because this game has a lot of potential stemming from the various pros that it has. A big pro of this game is optimization. Dystovia is some of the least frame rate laggy games for its size, and as you saw in the intro, my PC is a standard work laptop not designed for gaming. It also is available on mobile. Here's someone playing a game on mobile to beat the spider boss. So one of the two big factors making a game really popular on Roblox is right there. It is multi-platform and doesn't require the best specs to run. Another pro of the game is its difficulty. It is not the easiest game to play. You have to be strategic with who you fight, especially when you're dealing with the bosses, but the flexibility of strategy with no linear path to victory means that it's not Dark Souls level get good difficult, meaning that relatively inexperienced players and newcomers to the RPG genre can enjoy this game if they dedicate some time to it. So it is learnable and it is optimized and it's pretty well designed. So why did this game flop? According to the development team, the Roblox algorithm simply thought the game wasn't good enough for recommendation because it got a relatively low number of likes due to people disliking flaws in the pre-alpha stage, so it didn't get recommended as much, so it slowly died out as all players got bored of the game, which has a smaller map than most other Roblox RPGs considering that again, half the map is unfinished. And that, I guess, speaks to one of the cons of this game. It is too small. And you can theoretically beat the entire game by defeating just one boss, the Dark Knight, in the Black Castle, although you do need the Black Castle key to get inside in the first place, which I assume involves killing another boss. It's practically impossible to defeat the Dark Knight and just the Dark Knight, but theoretically you can beat him without beating all the other bosses. Another con of the game is it can get pretty grindy. As with most RPGs, you have to grind for resources which you need for upgrades, especially here in regards to sword surfing and enchanting swords. Grinding can take you hours, if not days, to get the resources you need or want, and if you didn't get bored by then, you'll run out of anything tangible to do once you have gotten everything. The game incentivizes you to stay with board quests, which can be taken in Oasis, and these are basically regular quests to keep you engaged by asking you to kill some mobs every now and then. These board quests can be refreshed once you finish them all or have given up on too much of them. And because it's Roblox, the convenience of your gameplay will be beholden to your Wi-Fi speed and geographical location, which affects your proximity to Roblox's servers. Living in New Zealand, the closest servers to me are in Australia, and even then they're rarely available and I have to connect to American, European, or Asian servers, which can have higher ping due to distance issues. And even if I can connect to Australian servers, Australia's internet is among the slowest in the developed world, my ping is cooked regardless. My only suggestions for this game is that the developers, if they want to continue developing the game despite their plans to halt development due to underperformance, could try adding more character quests, having nearly all characters except to my knowledge the Witch and possibly the Ghost Knight in Deep Pine Forest have only one quest with little storyline can make the game repetitive after a period of time that's too short. Even then, if the Dystovia team made this game an indie game outside of Roblox, I would pay for it. They deserve the money for their hard work. 5 years on this game is quite a lot, especially for such a relatively small team. If anything else, this game has become a part of my daily routine. Out of the first days back on my second quarter of school, I've only missed the game one day, and that was because the high ping for me was pretty unbearable and I had to play something else on Roblox that could handle higher ping. It has become a part of my daily routine so much that even if it's not in the game, Game Over by Falling in Reverse kept playing in my head and I kept singing it because
my life is like a video game, trying hard to beat the stage, all while I am still collecting coins.
If nothing else, have a bit more clips of me playing the game.
Okay, here we go. We're fighting the Ogre Centurion. Let's hope that we win this. Man, this is really hard. Let's hope we get through it. Oh man, this is really hard. Come on, let's go, let's defeat him. Come on, let's go. Yeah, we got him. Yeah, let's go.
Now, for the fans of the more popular Vesteria, you may think that Dystovia is a Vesteria ripoff, and that's true to an extent. We do share the spider boss, but Dystovia diverges with bosses from there, and also Vesteria is a rip of Dark Souls, and Dark Souls is also a video game ripoff of Dungeons and Dragons. Point is, we will take inspiration from each other, and we should take inspiration from each other. It allows the RPG genre as a whole to develop in its storytelling and in the vibrance of its community. Unless there's no originality in an inspired game, there's no need to condemn it as a ripoff. Sometimes you just gotta copy others for as long as you have ideas of your own. It's called learning, and that's what makes game development great. Anyways, thank you for watching this video. No need to subscribe to me if you don't want to, but if you want more people to see this, please leave a comment and like this. It gets the video out there on the algorithm, allowing more people to see it. Also, if you really do want more people to see the video, please watch from the beginning to the end. It will help with viewer retention, which again helps with getting the video out there. With that said, if you want to, I recommend you play Dystovia and see for yourself if you think it's good for you. Again, thanks for watching and have a good day.
My life is like a video game, trying hard to beat the stage, all while I am still collecting coins. Trying hard to save the girl, obstacles I'm jumping.